Hey, this is Attila, and you're listening to Movie Prosecutioners. Let's go. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about one of the favorite movies of my girlfriend. We're gonna talk about Mulan from 1998. So I'm gonna talk about the Disney movie from Disney Renaissance. So, fun fact or facts about Disney Renaissance. So, sorry for that. The Disney Renaissance is a time when the first Disney movies that were actually produced by Disney in like the 50s and 60s, like the first Snow White or like Bambi, like these kind of movies, when they went out, when actually Disney was at the brink of being like, out of business. Then there came the Disney Renaissance. And one of these movies was actually Mulan. And Mulan is not only from the Disney Renaissance, but Mulan is a very old kind of fairy tale. It's called The Ballad of Mulan, and it's actually from around 400 after Jesus. So 400, the 5th century in this case. And so it's around 1,500, 1,600 years ago that the actual story, or let's say the story when Mulan happened, actually has been told. So it was actually kind of a poem or a song, you could say. I read the English translation and it was really interesting to see how different the picture of the Mulan back in the days and the Mulan from today or from 1998 is. So that's what I'm gonna talk about today. Because today is not gonna be like one of the essay kind of episodes, but more like I researched a little bit and I want to talk about the differences over time. So the baseline, the base of the story of Mulan is the legend of Hua Mulan, also called the Ballad of Mulan. And it plays in the northern and southern dynasties from 398 to 589 after Christ. And it was actually like not written down, but late in the 6th century. So it is kind of different of the Mulan that we watched today. And it is different because the Mulan from back there was far from the free-spirited person that we know in the Mulan movie. Like in the Mulan movie, I remember one of the first scenes where Mulan is like using a dog to give the chicken food. And she's kind of playful and happy and like a little extra, like unconventional. And the Mulan from back in the story was actually very duty driven. So the reason why Mulan goes for the quest, goes to fight the Huns, is to protect her father. This we actually still have in the movie, but there's a big difference. The difference is that in the old song, in the Ballad of Mulan, she's actually going on a quest for 12 years. And then she comes back and goes back to be a woman like before after she finished her quest. And she's not interested to pursue a career because she thinks she has to go back to her father, to go back to her duty. And this is one of the biggest changes I think we have now with the Mulan that we watch. The Mulan now that we watch is changed after her adventure. But the last few phrases of the Ballad of Mulan were really interesting, and I want to actually tell you them. I mean, I haven't read them in Chinese, but here are the last words translated in English. Because after Mulan she came back with a few of the soldiers she fought with. Then she's changing, and then she's saying the following. Most people tell the gender of a rabbit by its movement. The male runs quickly, while the female often keeps her eyes shut. But when the two rabbits run side by side, can you really discern whether I am a he or a she? The whole poem, ballad, is very much not what I see in Mulan of today. But this kind of ending was really like, oh, the basic questioning of gender roles that Mulan has as one of the big one of the big messages that it gives out, that is actually also based in the historical legend. And that was really fascinating, because basically what she's saying is how are man and woman different if they fight for the same cause, or generally doing the same stuff together. And the story of Mulan was reinterpreted multiple times. Like when I read up on this, like for example, it was used for the Cultural Revolution in the 50s in China, so that like the revolution, the communist people back in the days can identify with somebody. So Mulan, the working woman, the strong woman, was like a representation of what the government wanted from a woman, that she's like strong and fights for the cause and fights against the enemy. And but there are also other versions of the 1800s where Mulan actually comes back to her home and then marries because she finished her duty and goes back to be a woman in like full time. And like there's actually a part of the story where she's like be it children and stuff like that. So there is kind of like 1,500 years of story, of retelling stories. Is a gigantic time span, and so Mulan's story changed a lot over the time. But the Mulan today, and the Mulan that I love and that my girlfriend loves and that a lot of my friends love, is the Disney movie from 1989. And now we finally arrive talking about it. What is so different about this Mulan? I actually mentioned it before. Like the Mulan that we have, that we watched, is a Mulan who has wit, is a Mulan who is like intelligent, who makes up ideas and translate them into action. The craziest thing, and I'm so thankful that they did that in the movie, is that Mulan is constantly having good ideas. Like at the beginning, she's using the dog to feed the chicken so she doesn't have to do it herself. She's using her ideas, like there's a challenge one of her superiors gives to her, and she uses her wit, to actually conquer this, the first in the whole army. Like, she's the first one who's actually having this idea how to accomplish this task. And so also, like, towards the end, there's a confrontation with the Huns, and she has a brilliant idea, and even thought there's a moment of pure fear from all of them. She's taking charge, and she has a good idea how to fight against the Huns. And this is so beautiful, and it's like also different from the other princesses that we have. Like, what they change a lot in recent years is that they make the princesses proactive, and that's wonderful. A protagonist should be someone who's taking charge of his own life, and a woman and man, like everybody, should take charge of his own life. But what Mulan makes different is that she is not only taking charge, she's doing this in a brilliant, good way. And it's just so good to see that there was a character written who is having wit, who is a woman who gets later on respected by her peers, by what she did and how she did it. And that's basically for me why she's such an iconic character. Obviously, she's also naive like the other princesses, but her wit is something that distinguishes her from the other ones. She is, without using this, without being arrogant about it, the most intelligent person in the field, and the one that does the best actions. And I just think this is wonderful. She's like fighting for the right thing, for what she thinks is right. And now we come to something I want to say about her being a feminist icon. So the thing I said before was, in general, why she is like a role model for people. She uses her wit, she uses her confidence, her friendships, her leadership to accomplish what is inaccomplishable. But why she's a feminist icon, and maybe here I'm a little bit different from what other people will say, she's not only kicking the butt of man, but she also makes friendships with man, and she starts with being a person who has like a lot of prejudgment on man, and actually her sidekick gives her really weird advices on how to behave, and this leads to a lot of very amusing situations. But what she does is she overcomes these stereotypes, and not by ignoring them. The whole story is never ignoring stereotypes about women or men, especially not about men. So the men are singing about the wonderful woman that they get by being a soldier, and they like to fight, and they like to be a little bit rough, and to be funny. But here is like the thing: a real relationship is not a cliche. A real relationship is not a stereotype. As soon as we come together and share like an emotional moment with somebody, that's where a friendship, where a partnership is coming together. And what Mulan does is, instead of ignoring that and says like, okay, now the world is like that, or now the world is like that, Mulan shows that, okay, there are these stereotypes, and part of this is true, but as soon as we realize what we do wrong in just seeing the stereotypes, we can change, we can move on. And this, in this movie, is so brilliantly made, because there's a song in this movie, a song this is a lot of people love, and it's a song about becoming a man. And it's a really well-made song, and it's about the training that the recruits do. In this time, they play this song. And then at the end of the movie, they actually do something very feminine to accomplish their goal, and they play again this song. So they're basically accepting that here you have to like to be a man can mean that you have to be feminine, and like accomplish the good goal at the end. You should do it in any way possible, and accepting this to go basically over your own shadow is something that this movie is accomplishing. And now I'm talking not about Mulan as a character, as a feministic icon. I talk about Mulan as a movie that is for me a wonderful feministic message. And yeah, I think this is what I wanted to tell about Mulan. Obviously, there is so much more in this movie, and so much more. This movie is so fun, and it plays with the idea of duty, with moral, with so much more. But these are the main two things that I wanted to talk about, like how much it makes men and women come together and overcome stereotypes, and how much the wit and the proactive way of Mulan is showing how a protagonist should be. And yeah, I think please, if you haven't watched this movie, watch this movie. It's a wonderful journey, and I had so much fun rewatching it a million times. So I wish you too a lot of fun. Watch the movie from 1989, the Disney movie. It's on Disney Plus. Yeah, that's it. So I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and stay tuned for the next episode. And the only thing I have to say now is bye.